bench watching the game instead of playing it. And my attitude is, and my answer is,
don't play the pro mode.
Play a pro mode. just play the game where you're on the ice the entire time. Play the old school way. If you want to be a pro, be a pro.
Right.
And they would complain. You sit on the, I played a game as be a pro, and I stayed out as long as I wanted to. And you got a meter, and the meter starts counting down and starts to go from green to yellow to red. So it means you're tired and you can't skate and you can't shoot as good. You go to the bench, you hit a button, you sit, and meter builds back up. And in 30 or 40 seconds, you hit it, and the guy comes over and changes, and you're back out on the ice. It was that simple.
Yeah.
And people were complaining about how long you sit. It's like, well, that's part of it is watching. And
it's because they're not hockey players.
No, they're not. So it's like, again, don't play Be a Pro if you're going to bitch about sitting on the bench, okay? So they added the coach feedback to Be a Pro. The other thing they added was the 3 stars of the game. They didn't have that when it comes out. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's been part of heckey forever. The game ends. Here's your 3 stars of the game. Something stupid, but you did miss it. When the game ends and it says game over and there's no 3 stars, you kind of missed that. And then they dinked around a little bit with the Hockey Ultimate Team, the HUT it's called. I don't play that mode. It's something about getting player cards and assembling a team, and that's when you actually can spend real money to buy these like hockey card packs to get people to put together a team and play other people. I don't get into that, but whatever. They dicked around with that a little bit. More updates coming out in October, including the online team play, which was missing. And that's when you can play 5-on-5. Actually, it used to be 6-on-6, but they took out the part where you can play the goalie. You can't play the goalie anymore in online play, which was probably good because we've had that in the past where we've had all 6 players and somebody tries to play the goalie and the other team has a computer goalie, and the computer goalie just does a way better job than the human goalie. So it was always an advantage. If you had a computer goalie, it just was always an advantage. So I think that's actually a pretty good thing to take that out. So if you want to play goalie, you can still play locally, whatever. But they took that out for the team play. Still no word if they're going to have the league back, the EA Sports League that keeps standings and stats and divisions and all that. But at least coming soon in October, you'll be able to play the online team 5-on-5. And they've added a couple other things as far as GM modes go. But anyways, yeah, so NHL slowly chipping away at what people are calling the incomplete game. And that's my news, and I'm actually excited about that news.
Cool. That sounds, I'm kind of glad that all this stuff is kind of rolling out because there was a lot of complaints. Oh my God, a lot of complaints about it.
And it kind of throws out the question is, when it comes to delays, as much as I hate delays, but again, if they're gonna,
you are the worst person I know when it comes to criticizing a game because it's delayed.
Because I get all excited about it. I see it's like, oh, I can't wait to play this, and they push it off, and it's like,
Right, well, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to get games that are incomplete. So what do you want? Do you want the complete game and then rolled out later?
I would be okay the way they did it. Whereas they come out 2 or 3 weeks ago with the game. I can play it. And then it's like, okay, in a couple of weeks, this mode's coming. Perfect. And then in a couple of weeks, this mode's coming. So you can at least play it and get used to it and have fun with it, and then it's almost like Christmas morning. Oh, more modes, or more of this. I prefer the way they did it.
Okay.
Because if they had said, we're not coming out for 2 months till it's all ready.
Right.
I like the way they did it. They put out a playable game. It was stripped down, and they're adding to it. I prefer it this way.
Okay. Good to know.
Well, at least NHL's getting stuff added to it.
Wait a minute. Nick, what's wrong with your microphone, dude?
Oh, it was, I lifted it up on my head because I was coughing.
Okay.
Good to hear that NHL is getting stuff added to it because that's not happening with Destiny.
Yeah.
Eventually it will.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I.
Mm-mm. All right, my first item is kind of for Nick. They had Tokyo Game Show last week, and then the week before that they had PAX Prime. And the producer for Bloodborne and the marketer, that's Masaaki Yamagiwa and Yoshihiro Kitao, they both revealed that fewer than 1% of players at PAX Prime were able to complete the Bloodborne demo. Only 20 people completed the Bloodborne demo at PAX.
I can believe that.
Only 20 out of approximately 3,500 players were able to kill the Cleric Beast boss and complete the quest to PAX Prime. Around 40 out of 1,250. So actually, it looks like Japanese players are better. Completed it at TGS.
Because what's hard about that is that when you die, that's when the demo ends.
Right.
But like when you're playing Dark Souls, you die and you just come back at a checkpoint. And like part of the process of playing a Souls game is dying over and over again to learn where everything is and to learn about the environment so that when you go through it maybe the 10th time, you're better prepared and you kind of cream everything because you know what's going on. But with Bloodborne, it's very much like you have to do it perfectly on the first try in an unknown area.
Right. At least the Bloodborne demo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can believe that people didn't beat it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing good things about it, but I hear it's really hard.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a super hard game. And so this sounds discouraging to you and me, but to people like Nick, this sounds like an awesome game.
Yeah, we talked about
Whip
this.
me harder.
We talked about this before, that if you really pigeonhole yourself into, we're going to be tough and hard, you're going to alienate a lot of the casual fans. And it's, I guess, if you want to put in an issue like that, that's fine. But, if I won't play a game like that. Like I tried the Dark Souls 2. I rented it at Redbox and it's like, okay, I got a taste of it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. But yeah, I played it that one day when it was time to bring it back. I brought it back and I don't miss it. And I wouldn't buy it.
I feel like that's perfectly fine as long as they don't spend like $100 million trying to make it. Like, you can make something really brutally difficult.
You can make a niche game.
As long as you don't need it to be a huge blockbuster success to make money, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like niche music. As long as you're not expecting it to sell a bajillion copies and you don't need it to sell a bajillion copies to cover your expenses, then you'll be fine with that. Nothing wrong with a niche game. And it's a fair niche game. It's fairly popular.
Yeah.
So, next item. Do you have anything, Nick? Because I got tons.
Probably the biggest news.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Titan.
Yeah, Blizzard canceled Titan.
Yeah, which was an MMO. Their next MMO.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they thought it was easier to make an MMO than they thought because they made a really good one.
This is something like, we made a World of Warcraft, so we thought we knew how to make an MMO. So, spent 7 years trying to do it. We put it through a reevaluation period to try to find the fun, and we just couldn't.
It wasn't a fun game.
Yeah.
I heard, did I hear right that 38 Studios bought the rights? They're going to finish it up?
No, actually, it was Blizzard bought the rights to 38 Studios game, The Kingdoms of Amalur, and that's what that's the next episode.
Right. Oh, God. That actually might not be a bad one. That would be all right. I would actually be interested in that. But it's a shame for Titan, but it says how much that World of Warcraft was a combination of skill and luck, and they hadn't really taken into account the luck.
Yeah.
That was a lot of luck that they got that as right as they did. And if they wanted...
Everyone's been trying to mimic World of Warcraft's success and failing, including Blizzard.
Right. Exactly. Because when I remember going to GDC, and it was just tons of people. This was 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. MMO. We're making an MMO. We're making an MMO. That was the big thing on everybody's lips. Is we're making an MMO, and we're looking for investors. And the money was just rolling in because everybody was looking at World of Warcraft and thinking, they made a really successful one. We can make a really successful one. And the thing is, it's freaking impossible. You had one success, and even the company that did it couldn't duplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not entirely sure that World of Warcraft was as good a game as they said it was. And I say that as a former addict. That there was a lot of that game that made it work because of the community, not because of the game. And you got the community because it came out at exactly the right moment. It kind of went viral. And once that happened, you had these millions of players, then it was a super duper fun game. But if you had lost all of those people and people hadn't come flocking to it, then it probably wouldn't have been as popular as it was. It just got lucky. So,
like right place at the right time.
Right place, right time. And I don't think anybody's ever given credit to that fact. Let's see. My next item is League of Legends. Speaking of incredibly addictive games with a huge community. You remember that, well, one of the things League of Legends is known for having is a really crappy community. A lot of people with a lot of really nasty players. It's one of the reasons why I've never played League of Legends. Because it's just known for having shitty people playing it. And they've, a little while ago, they started to do a ranking system based on your how you comport yourself. If you are an asshole in League of Legends, then you kind of get into a classification. It's a ranked asshole classification. And they had put limits on your game if you were ranked an asshole. You couldn't chat. You couldn't use the chat feature for a certain amount of time. Or play a certain amount of regular games without the chat feature, essentially putting you on a chat timeout before you could come back. And that amount had, I guess, to do with scaling of how many people said you were an asshole and how much you continued to be an asshole. Well, League of Legends, in an effort to clean up the community, has gone a step farther. There is a new restriction, an inability to access ranked play, which really gets you in the nuts. The ranked restricted players will have a certain number of games that they must play before they can return to queuing for ranked matches, just like with the chat restrictions. And players who are deeply into negative territory and rank restricted at the end of a given competitive season will also be ineligible for receiving special rewards for ranked play, meaning that poor sportsmanship doesn't pay at any level of the game. So they're not just coming down on bad players. They are coming down on, bringing the hammer down on bad players, essentially driving them out of the game because they will be not as good of players simply because they don't get rewards.
That's I like that.
Yep.
That tactic.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. So if this actually works, and I can't imagine it wouldn't, I might actually try League of Legends just to see, because I'm curious, but I just don't feel like stepping into that ball of sexist, misogynistic, racist, just trolling.
I know that you can play without chat.
Right, but I am offended by any game that asks me to gimp my game because other people are being racists, sexists, misogynists, trolls, just horrible, nasty people. They're the ones that are wrong, not me. So why should I gimp my game? I would rather just not play that game at all. And I think that League of Legends has started to realize that.
Yeah,
they're the ones that should be penalized, not me. You got anything?
Yeah. In happier, more fun news, the Shadow of Mordor Twitter account has apparently been taken over by orcs.
Oh no!
So
all right,
they're sending out some pretty good tweets. They sent one to Pizza Hut that says, "Do you deliver to Mount Doom? Please send us your tastiest driver." And they had a movie review of Batman Forever. Said, a blacksmith saw Batman Forever. Now there's nipples in our armor. No stars.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good call.
So there's a whole bunch of other ones. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I would recommend checking out the Shadow of Mordor Twitter account.
What is the Shadow of Mordor Twitter account?
Shadow of Mordor.
Is it? Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. I will check that out because I've been completely, with the exception of my